Good evening, Cryptid World. Welcome to Old Line Cryptids. Boy, we've had to do a whole lot of, no offense to you, Bama boys, but a whole lot of hillbilly shuffling here to get this show going. Oh my goodness! But anyway, we our regular guest that was scheduled to be on tonight, so far is a no-show. If he does show up, we'll bring him in. But I found one or two guys that'll definitely make that three now. That'll definitely take up the time for us here. And I actually we got David Blaylock backstage. He just when we were doing the intro, he just logged in backstage, and hopefully River Mars can get some good service. He said it's a nice sunny day there, a nice clear day there, whatever time of day it may be there. So maybe we can get him in here too without a whole lot of hiccups. And if not, definitely. I had started asking David some questions last week, and we didn't. I didn't get all the information I wanted to hear outside of blowing his damn hand off us or whatever, whoever it was. But anyway,
the neighbor.
We got a good laugh about that after the fact. But anyway, so I know David's had some experiences at home and around LBL and stuff like that, and I definitely want to hear David's side of the story too. And we're going to bring him on here in just a second. Anyway, Jeff, our guest that you were talking with, unfortunately, is a no-show. Maybe we can get him on in a later date. Tell us a little bit about the area, the Edgewood, around the. I don't really want to mention the installation, even though it's Edgewood Arsenal. But anyway, Edgewood, Maryland, which
it's pretty much decommissioned at this point. But
well, kind of, sort of. I mean, there's a lot of outside employees that go in there and work. It's still part of the military, and I do know the areas in the very southern end of this county, as far as the southern border goes, be the southwestern part of this county. Probably what, Jeff? 40 minutes south of us, maybe, without any traffic.
Yeah.
So
it's not very far.
You fished there a lot. You tell us. You tell us a little bit.
I fished around that area a lot at night, and up towards.
Hang in there, Dave. We're going to bring you right in here in a minute.
I've fished right there, and I fished near Aberdeen Proving Ground, and there's a lot of swamp back in there. There's a lot of ground. It's pretty remote stuff, and you don't see a whole lot of people walking around back in there. So, what are you doing? Put it down there. But it can be pretty.
Poor kid.
It can be a pretty woolly spot, especially when you're out there in the dark. Hoggy,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. It's I'll be interested to hear his story. Hopefully, maybe next week.
I've heard some really weird noises when we've been in there at night. Never any vocals or anything, but once in a while you'd hear something sounded like a knock or something walking off through the woods that was way too damn big to be a deer.
Yeah.
You never really wanted to get too close to any wooded areas while you were bow fishing out there. It was always kind of eerie.
Yeah. And there is plenty of heavily wooded area out there, too. I have relatives that used to live down in the Trumbull Road area down there, which is, hop, skip, and a jump, and you're on the base down there. So.
Well, I tell you, that area down around where the train goes over the creek and all that through there, that's some pretty woolly stuff back in there.
Yeah. So hopefully we can we'll get him in here next week or something soon. We don't know if something came up or whatever. So, but anyway, not to play second fiddle, but we got as far as I'm concerned, a great guest that like I said earlier, I want to hear his stories outside of any hand grenades or anything. But but I know he's had action at their house, him and his wife, and everybody in the Bigfoot world knows him. And we're going to bring him in here. We call him Brother Blaylock, David Blaylock.
Can we read these right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, David. How are you?
Hey, David.
How you doing? I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. We Jeff will be content tonight here now with his son with him. So, but, We sent River the link
Nice.
too, but we'll see how River makes out with his internet service. So,
Poor River and that HughesNet he's got over there in Africa.
Okay.
Uh-oh. We lost David. There we go. He's freezing up here and there. It's okay.
This is like when we have our late night chats on the on Messenger.
It's okay. No train wrecks here. We'll be good. Okay. Anyway, David.
You guys see me or hear me?
Furnished apartment.
Yeah, we can see you and hear you. Yeah. It just freezes up from time to time. It's all good. So why don't we just go ahead? Like I say, everybody knows who David Blaylock is. David, yeah, you gotta love the technology. Evidently, there's a little bit of delay there too. But we all know you're from the West Coast in Oregon, and what's started it all for David? Tell me and all of us. I know a lot of people have heard your story before, but I never really have heard everything, and I'm going to find it all out now. So he's froze up again, but stay tuned, folks.
Augie, what are you doing?
Tell us what got David started in the world of Bigfoot.
So probably really like growing up, it wasn't necessarily. I mean, Trinity, California, right? The Patterson.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Hey, David. Can you hear me, David?
We all Sasquatch. Our parents say, "Man,
time out, David."
It's the government.
I can hear you.
You might have to shut your camera off and just let the audio play.
You guys can't hear me.
It gets breaking up really bad. Try it without your camera on. Huh? See how that works.
It's more a little bit.
You're having a River Morris syndrome.
Okay, let's see if I can do that.
Jeez.
Yeah, you should be able to do.
Yeah, exactly.
What is going on with this thing?
Well, if you go into your StreamYard there and just look down where it says Stop Cam, just click on Stop Cam, and that'll just stop your camera, but your audio will still be able to be heard.
We had to do that with me the other week.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Well, dagnabbit.
This is like a Woodwalkers podcast.
Oh, I had nothing to do with that, Spencer.
My third strike with Spencer.
I'm sure you'll hear about it.
He's probably not even awake. I'm not even sure if he's listened to but like one or two of these.
Yeah, David's having some serious internet issues there.
Oh my god.
The last time we had him on here, he was on a computer.
So it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, if he can just turn his camera off, it'll probably work. Now he's gone. We'll give him a few minutes to come back in. But anyway.
Yeah, that area is a very swampy area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those places that I always thought if something weird was anywhere around here, there's something lurking in that swamp.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
they're around Aberdeen too.
I've bow fished around like the little tributaries that go into Aberdeen too, and that whole area just feels weird.
Yeah. Well, there's a story of the Aberdeen Wild Man.
Yeah. No.
That we brought up.
Is there any record of that on the internet still?
I will have to look and see. That's going to be the show that I want to do. We both talked about doing that.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of finding some information or somebody that we even bother to talk about.
Trying to find anything in this state, it's so like secretly.
Oh yeah, it's funny how that happens.
But then
Funny
you
how
go
that
some
happens.
places down south, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're all over the place down here."
Yeah, little different type of different type of atmosphere. A
Like going to the
little more
Smoky
open
Mountains.
minded, I
Look,
think.
everybody loves Bigfoot in the Smokies.
Well, I've been to the Smokies a couple times. There's not a doubt in my mind what's there. We actually hiked to Laurel Falls at one time, and I forget who I was talking to. Okay, David's back. Let's see how this works now. He's cameraless this time. David, you with us?
Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely. We can hear you loud and clear.
Sounds way better now.
Yeah.
Finally, man, that was so weird. It like kicked me off. And then when I tried to come back in, it just wouldn't let me. It was like trying to. Well, how weird is that?
That is weird. But it sounds like we might be okay with just audio, so hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's fine
Okay.
with me. You guys don't want to see my ugly face anyway.
Anyway, where we got started. What got David started in the subject of Bigfoot? Go ahead and take it away from there.
Okay. So basically, growing in the area.
Oh, we lost him again. Oh boy.
Around there a lot most of the while.
It just ain't gonna work, is it?
Good Lord.
Must be the heat. Now we lost you again, David. Dagnabbit.
So I swear somebody's got like a.
Nah, it's just what it is. Internet's being goofy. It happens. Lord knows how much storming is going on between here and there, and well, it's a hurricane, or was a hurricane between us. So, and I know there's some big storms in the Midwest right now. But anyway, where were we at? Aberdeen Wildman. Yeah, finding somebody to talk about it or have anything, any information about it will be interesting. But that's going to take a lot of digging, and hopefully we'll come up with something. So,
yeah, it's definitely, now that I've heard more about that area, it definitely piques my interest now that I've heard it, and people have actually started talking about that area. I mean, even Joppa Town, that whole.
The area of Joppa, there's reports out of Joppa, which you've talked to.
And
there he is, David. We haven't heard anything for the last 3 or 4 minutes from you. Evidently, it's quite a.
Does he got Spencer's internet? What's going on?
I don't know. It's a pretty big delay. Anyway, but the Joppa area itself.
It was better when he was up on the mountain in his house.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at now, but
he's at his son's apartment.
Oh, okay.
You would think the service would be better in town.
Yeah, you would think. But the Joppa area, just simply right off Route 152, between 152 and Route 24. A lot of heavily wooded area, and there's still a lot of housing has been put in there over the years, but there's still some area there that's creepy crawly, if you will, is the words I use. But that's another area that we know. I think it was back in the 80s, right, Jeff? You talked to a female, and I actually saw that particular report from her.
Yep.
And hopefully sometime we can get her on here. And with camera, without a camera, some people don't want to show their face. That's fine. You don't ask them to do that.
Seems to be a recurring thing in this state for some reason.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's a different atmosphere here. We'll try River. River's here. Hi, River. It's all good. If nothing else, everybody can laugh.
Yeah.
So these guys will be trying. We pretty much lost both of them, I guess. For now, they'll keep trying.
This has been like the story of my weekend, you know.
Anyway, so but yeah, that's
I thought
and of
three. I
course,
thought it's usually 3 strikes. I'm on 5 right now. There he is.
well, somebody's
Hey, how
here.
you doing?
Hey, River, how are you? We know
River.
it's but we know it's a long delay.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's a pretty long delay with them.
Yeah, about
On
like
the other side of the world from us.
he might hear us 20 minutes after we talk. So
Yeah. I was curious if River's had any activity over there recently. With the that would be River's gone. Okay, it's going to be that kind of night. So we're just going to BS our way through this here real quick. Again, we apologize. Our regular guest was a no-show for whatever reason maybe. I know he's got a young child too, and something could have come up. So, but yeah, and Elk Neck, Elk Neck is fresh on. This guy beside me is all about Elk Neck. I'm telling you, if you could let him go over there and build a house, that's where he would live. So he is gung ho for Elk Neck, and I'm going to leave it there. But
I'm telling you, that place, I might have some time here in the next few weeks. I'm probably going to be up there sweating my butt off.
Yeah,
wandering around.
Yeah, if I can get away, I might take a few hours to come over there with you. But we'll have to see.
I'm telling you, I'm thinking about just going and parking there by the gate at night and listening. Even if I don't go off into the woods, I might just have to sit there and see what I hear.
Right.
Or
yeah, it'd be interesting.
Wait till the Park Service runs me out. What are you doing?
There's other, and we know there's other areas. You know what I mean? We can venture just a little bit north here, even over to another park here in the county that's right almost on the river. Which I've shared my experience with you there here a few weeks ago, and yeah.
I don't know how my lighting has gotten worse in this room.
I don't know, but you got a dark spot in front of you there. I can barely see, only see half your face. It's like you're missing a light bulb or something.
Let me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to
take the shade off of it. Maybe it might help you.
I might do. See if that fixes it.
Yeah.
Only problem is, hold on. We're going to be in darkness for a second.
Oh boy.
I'll remove my light.
Oh boy. Oh. What you do without a guest?
Hey, I look better now that I turned the light off. Look at that.
Yeah, we can't see you. Not so perfect Bigfoot show. Welcome to the chat. Good to have you.
Hi, Miss B.
Mm-hmm.
There are lighting difficulties now.
Yeah, you turned your lamp back on and it got dark again. So it's washing you out from one side, making it dark. There you go.
Hold on, we're gonna rig it up here for a second. Oh boy.
How not to have a show. This is what this episode will be. David Blaylock, you still here? Let's see, that'd be a big no. We will get him back. We'll get him on here. Get him up with some questions soon, very soon.
Oh, the old technical difficulties.
Yeah, we've been trying. Jeff has been trying to touch base with some people here just over the PA line here to get some Albatwitch information, and there's a guy that has not answered back, unfortunately. That is very knowledgeable on the subject.
And there's another guy that will not come on. So
yeah, we know the other guy won't come on, so that's fine. But hopefully his cohort will answer the call and come in. If not, we'll just have to study it ourselves in time,
we got to study up
bring
on
it out
some
then.
Maryland legends.
Yeah, sure, not a problem. Not a problem.
I keep collecting books and stuff to start
We
reading up on.
We could bring Cynthia Campese Richardson in here, but she doesn't have anything to say. So, Cindy, our guest, is a no-show. That's why Jeff and I are kind of hanging here. And David Blaylock started and lost service, and so we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants here real quick. River was here, and of course, the internet between here and Australia isn't all that great sometimes. So,
yeah.
So we apologize, folks. We tried to have a show tonight, and it's just not gonna work out. So we'll gibber here for a little while. And you got any questions? By all means, anybody in the chat. Jeff's had experiences. I've had more than one. I don't know. Hit us up.
And the more I read into some of the old outlaw episodes, the more stuff starts to make sense to me.
Yeah. Yes.
The more I look into things, the more the wheels are turning.
Okay, David sent me, and now it won't reload.
And now we have the other. What is wrong with you?
What's the matter?
It's the beagle. He's trying to get up my lap. I don't know what he's screaming at me now.
Okay, David's been trying to get back in here.
Lord, he's still on the.
Yeah.
Get up here.
There he goes. Okay. Oh, David's back. I was going to say I emailed it to you too, David. So.
I've got the beagle.
I don't think he can hear us.
He's just smiling.
I don't think it's going to work. I don't believe. River says, River, I don't see you, buddy. I don't see you backstage.
Are we back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. You're extremely delayed, but we've been talking to you, but I guess you couldn't hear us. River says he's backstage on the phone, but I don't see you, River. Oh. Can you hear us, David?
That long distance phone coverage.
Man, this is.
We're gonna need to start doing a conversation.
Yeah, it's okay, David. We can't. It's not your fault, David. It is what it is.
We gotta start doing these phone calls via sat phone or something.
Yeah.
Now David is muted.
Yeah, that's okay. Read some stories. I don't have any stories to read. Pull a story up and read us a bedtime story, Jeff.
Well,
I'll tell you what. You entertain the crowd here real quick. Let me go look and see if I can dig something up on the Aberdeen Wild Man real quick. We'll just see if I can find a little something on that.
I'll do my put on my charm here for a minute.
Oh boy, we're in trouble. We're waiting.
When you said you were going somewhere and digging up, I thought you were leaving. I didn't know you were going to sit there.
Oh no! I'm right here. I'm on another page. But anyway, I did find something here real quick off of Wiki, whatever it's called.
Wikipedia.
Aberdeen Wild Man. Let's take a look at this here real quick. When you turn off the 1001 commercials, gosh, so I can read the writing. Somebody, hold on a second. Somebody's trying to get back in here. It's David again. Working now, David.
Yeah, like that.
I can hear them. They can't hear us. Anyway.
You got better service on the mountain.
Anyway, I'm going to dig into this Aberdeen Wildman real quick here. A detailed encounter was written in Frank Bennett's book, Encounter with the Aberdeen Wildman, a true story. He writes that he was living in the Baltimore area in the 1980s, so this is pretty recent, really. 30 years, 40 years, I guess.
Yes,
And was wandering about the wilderness one winter night. He suddenly stopped dead in his tracks when he saw a figure in the brush in front of him. The figure was partially silhouetted, but he could make its ape-like features of its face. It had bulging eyes that were staring at him intensely. He described it to be wearing a clean white dress, shirt, and blue slacks. When Frank took one step towards it, it went wild and began thrashing about and screaming. Suddenly it jumped 10 feet vertically into the air, in the trees above, and continued thrashing and screaming. After that, it swung out of sight. Frank later told one of his friends that lived in the same area as him that they claimed they've heard of them before. People in the area had named the creature the Aberdeen Wildman. They investigated the spot where he had seen it, but could not find any evidence of the creature. Judging by standing where the creature was, he guessed it was about 6 feet tall. So that's just a little prelude there of that particular story of how it evolved. That's interesting. Right, Jeff? Oh, did we lose Jeff too? Hello?
I'm here. I had to step out for a minute.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm on a different page. I didn't see it. David, he keeps trying.
Yeah. Gotta love technology.
Okay, there's River. We still got the smiling Blaylock face, but nothing. No audio. Vertically into the air, in the trees above, and continued crashing and screaming. After that, it swung out of sight. Frank later told one of his friends that lived in the always
Oh,
wanted to hear me talk.
Oh,
Him that they claimed they've heard of them before. People in the area had named them the creature. Okay. This is how not to have a show, folks. Just so we can have fun with it. So, Mr. Blaylock, any luck? No luck. Well, doggone it. Believe it or not, we've gone 30 minutes and haven't accomplished anything. Oh, boy. I will say, I did watch a little segment of Coonbo here before for about 2 hours before coming back here and getting ready for the show. Pretty
Was
interesting.
that the dog man part?
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, how you doing up there, Bunyips?
There he is.
Hey, River, how are you?
Hey,
We can hear you
River, how
now.
are you?
Yeah, good,
Hear you
mate.
now.
Good, mate.
can
I'm
hear
on
us.
the phone.
We can hear us.
Yeah, it's feeding back.
Yeah, it's
Really
feeding
bad.
back. Really bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Everything I say or Jeff says we
Everything I
can hear.
say or Jeff says we can hear.
Oh, shit.
Go on, River. Don't get us kicked off.
River, don't get kicked off.
Oh,
I didn't know he was going to be a comedy
I
hour
didn't know it was
tonight.
going to be a comedy hour tonight.
Lord.
Where's the feedback coming back from? From me or you?
You must
from
have
you.
it on
You
your
must have
computer
it
or
on
something.
your computer or something.
Ah, okay, hang on.
Yep.
Is that better?
Is that better?
Is that better?
That's much better.
No,
No,
still the
No.
same.
still the same.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can still hear. We can still hear in the background.
We still
River.
hear in the background.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, but we can also hear
Yeah,
us
but we can also hear
reverberating
us
behind you.
reverberating behind you.
Yeah. It's like you got your computer on and
got
it's
your
picking us up
computer on
too,
and it's picking us up too.
and your phone's picking
Okay,
us up
well,
too.
Your phone's picking us up too.
I'll turn the lappy off.
Hi, Misty.
Hi, Misty.
Right, how's that?
In stereo, we're available.
In stereo, we're available.
I can still hear it.
I can still hear it.
Do you have a set of earbuds
Do
you
you
can
have
put
a
in,
set of earbuds
plug into
you
your
can put
phone?
in?
I
Plug into your
certainly,
phone?
yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that should fix it.
Yeah, that should fix it.
It's got a candy bar.
Got a candy bar.
Yeah.
God, never a dull moment. All right.
Can we still hear him in the
We
background?
still hear him in the background.
Uh-huh.
All right. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear everything.
Yeah, we can hear everything.
How's that?
What?
Same.
It's still there.
Same. Still there.
Righto.
Too bad we can't do these. Things via messenger. This would work a lot.
This would work a lot.
That's all good. Hey, I don't think I can hear me now.
Hey, I don't think I can hear now.
Nope, never mind.
I can hear you.
It's still feeding back.
It's still feeding
Yeah.
back. It's
still feeding back.
still feeding back.
Okay, I'll go out and come.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Jeffrey.
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs.
No, I mean kick bars.
I don't know what to say. We get
We're not
feedback,
the
and
first-
one guy can't get
We're not
service.
the first channel
help
in
us out.
history to have this happen. So
Yeah, that's all good. At least everybody's getting a good laugh. The Shack's active, so if you're in the chat, have at it. Yeah, Sharon, that's what we had him put earbuds in, but that didn't make a difference. That's really weird. Usually that takes care of it, but somehow or another, I think that laptop's still picking us up.
what are you doing?
I thought he shut it off, but anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right, Michelle. You got that right.
Maybe it could be some of the storms going on out.
That's what I'm thinking. There's a tremendous amount of storms between us and Blaylock, especially
Yes.
from that hurricane that came ashore. So
Mhm.
Where did you get this from?
I'm sure.
Not that one. Well, careful with it.
So we'll wait on River here, I guess. See if we
This
can
is my little rascal crawling
try to come
around
back
here.
in. Yeah, little ornery. I wouldn't know where he gets his orneriness from.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it has been, Michelle.
Yeah.
I hope anybody might be in chat or have. I know Debbie Porch has family down there where it made landfall and stuff. Hopefully, everybody got through okay and hasn't suffered any major damage or anything. So,
Yeah.
keep your prayers out for the families down there. And further north, as it comes north and east or wherever it's going, I haven't looked at the track, but it ain't over. It's still wreaking havoc, I guess. So, heads up,
Would you
America.
take the Nerf gun somewhere else, please?
Yeah, he's going to go run off camera and shoot you with it.
Oh,
I told you.
Might get beamed in the head or something. He's persistent.
Right. Here's this David guy again. Hi, David. How's it working now?
Man, I had to do everything that this hillbilly knew how to do to get that to work.
Well, so far it's working good. It's not breaking up.
Good. Awesome. I don't know where you
Okay.
lost, but I was just sitting there blabbing.
Okay. Well, we didn't hear anything. So, how did it all start for David Blaylock Part 2? Here we go. Take 2.
Wow, you didn't hear any of it. Okay.
None of it.
Okay. So I grew up in Northern California near the Patterson Gilman Film area. And we moved to this mobile home that was at the end of this long dirt road, like a couple miles back there, nothing but wilderness. We were the only place on the road. And started off by my brother finding these big old huge a couple tracks and coming home. And there were 6 of us kids, and he was the oldest, and he must have been about 15 or 16 at the time. And he come running in the house, Mom, I found huge footprints. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, they look like human footprints, but they're huge. And he had his hands out like if they were like 18 to 24 inches big, long.
Oh.
And she's like, son, it was probably just a bear. And he's like, no, Mom, it looked like a human footprint, but it was huge. And so she kind of wrote it off, but all of us kids could tell by his face that he was serious. And the next couple nights or weeks or whatever went by, and we started hearing these big old loud screams, like a woman screaming for her life kind of scream, the classic screams. And we would sit there with the window open at night and just listen to that, our whole family. And my mom would be like, Chuck, you need to go help her. And he was like, Judy, it's not a woman. I don't know what it is. And I know people are going to say it was a mountain lion, it was a fox, it was a bobcat. And I can't say it wasn't because I didn't see it. But by the time you add it all up, it didn't fit as a fox. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, David. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'm gun shy now.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. So then me and my brother's bedroom was at the very one end of this double wide mobile home. And that end of the mobile home was on like the concrete blocks, and it was like 3 feet off the ground because it was on a slanted hillside.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom and dad's bedroom was all the way at the other end of the mobile home. And so me and my brother was laying there, and he was sleeping. I could tell he was breathing hard and sleeping and stuff. And we had a whole bunch of kittens. And one of the kittens was on my chest, and I was laying on my back in the bed next to the window. And it must have been around midnight, just a guess, around midnight or so. And there was 2 kittens up in the windowsill, and I could see them clearly with the moonlight and stuff. It was like the window was kind of lit up, so I could see them really good. And all of a sudden, the 2 kittens up in the window just like poofed up like they do when they're scared or ready to fight or something, how they kind of hunch themselves up and poof out their tail and stuff. And they both did that, but their heads were turning together like they were watching something moving in the backyard. And about that time, the kitten that was on my chest jerked its head up and looking towards the window and puffed up like the other kittens. And I could just start hearing just boom, 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 just loud, like you could feel these footsteps. And it was moving from like the window side going around the back of the trailer, which would be like the back of my bedroom wall.
Right.
And go around to the other side of the trailer. Well, on that side of the trailer, there was what used to be a pantry door, but the door was gone, and they had screwed a piece of plywood over the opening. And before we moved in there, when we were looking at the place, the owners told us that the previous renters had moved out because, I'm doing like the quote, a big bear was harassing the people. And so we rented the place. And like I said, this was like maybe a couple weeks into it. And I know for a fact this was like 1979, 1980, because I was doing my homework at the school and I had to erase 1979 and put 1980. So I know it had to be like around January-ish of 1980 when this all happened. And I would have been like 9 years old or something like that. So laying in my bed, and I heard that walk around, and it stopped right at that pantry door, which was literally across the hallway from my bedroom. And it just like was quiet for a couple seconds, and you could literally kind of feel the trailer. Like I said, it was on the blocks on that end. You could literally kind of feel the trailer shift a little bit. And I just heard that plywood crack, just like broke, like lumber breaking. And I jumped up and went to the bedroom door, which was closed. And I opened the bedroom doors as quiet as I could. And it went click, just like this barely audible click. And I just heard boom, 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 boom. It went all the way around the trailer, then boom, 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 the way it came. So I knew it was gone. So I opened my door and like boogied up the trailer to my mom and dad's bedroom, jumped in my mom and dad's bed. I was like, Mom, there's a monster outside. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Mom, there's a monster outside. I heard it. She goes, no, it's probably the cats fighting. I said, no, Mom, it was a monster. It broke the house. And she goes, okay, well, son, just, slip into bed, which she was always like that. If one of us kids had a nightmare or something, she's like, just get in bed with us. And so the next day, my mom and my older brother picked us up from school. And he's like, hey, David, do you remember what you heard last night? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, wait till we get home. So we get up to the trailer, and my dad had got he was a planerman at the mill, local mill. He had gotten home. So he was standing out there looking at that plywood when we drove up, and we get out and walk over there with my mom. And I remember
That's River. River being silly.
Is his internet working now?
Yeah, I can hear River. Yeah.
Hey, is that happening? Is that happening better now?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah?
You're good to
You
go.
bloody beauty. Sorry, Bernie Bunyip, carry on.
That's good, brother. Good to hear your voice, man.
Yep.
So anyway, we walk up there, and my mom and dad are kind of standing there talking, and the top of that door where the plywood was screwed down had to be like 9 or 10 feet off the ground, because like I said, that end of the trailer was like the floor, the bottom of the trailer was like 3 feet off the ground. That plywood was broke at the top of the plywood, pushed in, and you could see what looked like, I'm going to just say like claw marks, but they could be fingernail marks or whatever, like just scratches where it pushed the door, that plywood into the door hole or door jamb or whatever. And I remember my mom looking up at it, just going, because my dad's name was Chuck. She was like, Chuck, what kind of bear could do that? And he was like, I don't know, a big one. And all we have is black bears. So it was like,
right.
Knowing now, I was like, there ain't no 9 or 10 foot black bears that I know of. But anyway, so ended up, we left that place, and that was kind of my personal, like my first thing that ever happened to me, my personal introduction into it. And so you fast forward, we moved from that spot to another mobile home, to this property that we had bought. And
Actually, I was working. I was flat.
What was that?
I'm not sure. Something come through on River's microphone. Go ahead, David.
So
All good.
Are we good? Go.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt nobody, but
You're okay.
So we moved to this other property, and it was like way out. If anybody ever wants to Google it or whatever, it was near Trinity Lake, California. And so we moved there, and we lived there. I don't know how long we had lived there. I would say it was within a year or two. So this is where my lifetime experiences get really weird. Okay, you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Well, the channel's supposed to be about weird, so.
Okay. So this is, and it's all true. I mean, I'm not going to make anything up for any freaking.
Right.
And I've heard you tell this before, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's real. So we lived at this mobile home, and we were like 25 miles out of any town. So it was like way back out into nowhere. And I was a pretty innocent kid, except for that experience, which I didn't know what happened at that time at that first place. I just know in my mind, a monster broke our house. That's all I knew. So at this other place, which we bought this property and moved our mobile home up there and stuff, single wide mobile home. And we were living in that. And I don't know how long we'd lived there when this happened. It must have been like a year or two, maybe somewhere within that. So I was probably like 10 to 12 years old. I woke up, me and my younger brother slept in the living room on a hide-a-bed couch. And my mom and dad slept in the back bedroom, and my sister slept in the living room or in a bedroom up the hallway. And I woke up in the middle of the night feeling like I had been like being choked. Like I couldn't hardly breathe, kind of that heavy, like somebody had been choking me. And it scared me. So I got up and went in my mom and dad's bedroom. And I was like, Mom, I can't breathe. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I feel like I'm being choked. I can't breathe. She like, can you take in breaths? I was like, yeah, but I feel like I can't breathe. And she was like, okay, well, why don't you just, slip in bed? So she moved over and was in the middle. My dad was on the other side of the bed and I was on the outside. And I'm laying there on my back. And it must have been between like, if I had to guess now, between like midnight and 3 a.m. or whatever. It was, I had been asleep and was awakened by that feeling. And so I was laying on my back and literally was trying to make myself go to sleep, kind of relax myself to go to sleep, and still thinking about it though. And then it's kind of like if you were sitting around a campfire at night and you close your eyes, how you can see like the light, the flames flicker through your eyelids. Or like if you close your eyes during fireworks, how you can still through your eyelids kind of see the light flashing and stuff. I started seeing that. And so before I even opened my eyes, I'm like, it dawned on me that I was seeing that. I'm like, wait, am I really, seeing that through my eyes? And I could see it and it looked like it was moving. So I opened my eyes and my mom and dad's room, the door was closed. When I came through the door, I closed the door. And so through the walls of the trailer, there was this red glow coming through the walls. Like the room was already kind of lit up, this red glow. And I could see like the light moving left to right. It was getting a little brighter and a little brighter, like it was coming closer to me, like it was going up the hallway of our mobile home. That's what I think now. And so I'm sitting there watching our room lighten up more and more red. And then right where the bedroom door and the wall and the ceiling all came together right there, this red orb, like the size of a basketball, maybe a little smaller, just like almost blood red, but like a deep dark red, just came through the wall and the ceiling right there. And it came like, if it was a ball, it came like halfway through. So you're just looking at like half of a ball. And it stopped right there and it wasn't making no noise. You couldn't smell nothing. I mean, it was just there. And it had like a 3-foot circumference of purple aura around it. Like see-through. You could see through the aura of it. And it was shooting white sparks that came from like the edge of the red. And they were going like all around it, like a sparkler, but huge sparkles. And they would go out when they hit that outer edge of that purple aura. And it just like, and just stopped. And it was just sitting there sparkling and it was purple and red. And the ball itself looked, and as growing up, I always explained like it looked like lava, like hot lava, like turning. And then I said, but it wasn't like, but it was just like moving. And my son, He was like, you mean like plasma? And I was like, yeah, yes, like plasma. Like it was moving, but it wasn't like lava, but it was just like this red energy, I guess. And so I sit up, and my mom's on her side facing away from me. And I could see my dad. I mean, the whole room was lit up like this red glow. Like if you had a red light bulb in your, in your room, it was lit up like that. And I put my hand on my left hand on my mom's hip. And I was like, and pointing with my right hand at the ball of light. And I'm like, Mom, look at that red light. And literally I could see her face lift up off the bed, off her pillow. And then she laid her head back down, and I'm looking at her side profile, just lit up. I mean, I could see it perfectly. And without her lips moving, I heard her voice saying, son, you're dreaming, go back to sleep. And I'm still pointing at it with my right hand, and my left hand's still on her hip. I'm like, no, I'm not, Mom, it's right there. And I turned and looked back at it, and it was like 2, 3, and this is where it gets weird, all right? So hang on. So now I'm not in my room no more, in my mom and dad's room no more. And now I'm like looking out what I explain is like it looked like glass or like a clear wall, like a see-through wall. And I'm still pointing, and my hand still to my left, like if it was on my mom's hip. And now it's kind of like if you wake up from surgery, how you're kind of confused and like you start, like when you open your eyes, how it takes a second to everything to come into focus, or like if you pass out, that same kind of thing. And it was kind of like it kind of came into focus, and I realized that I'm looking through this glass wall, and I'm looking at stars. I don't see the moon, I don't see the sun, I don't see the earth, I just see stars. I mean, just beautiful, like the clearest night you ever seen. And I'm just like come to and looking at that. And so I'm thinking my hand is still on my mom's hip because I can feel my left hand is still making contact with something. So I remember just my eyes looking down, and I could see my pajamas. I knew exactly what pajamas I had. They were long sleeve pajamas. And my eyes go up my arm on my pajamas, and in my hand, instead of my hand being on my mom's hip, I was holding the hand. This is going to, I hope you don't lose subscribers, but I was holding the hand of what would be like a young juvenile Bigfoot, a red-haired, black-skinned. Its hand was black, wrinkled. It had like human base, like the base of your fingernails was human shaped, but they went more to a point, kind of like a vampire, like a kind of like a vampire fingernail.
What was its name, Jeff?
And it,
was it named Jeff?
It could have been. It was taller.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's crazy, man. Yeah. I'm not calling you crazy. That's
Whoa.
yeah. Please continue.
That's tricky, eh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And but the thing is, it tore all the way through this. It was like no emotions. Like the emotions were wiped out of me. And I swear, looking back on it and talking about it and stuff and sharing my story, I think my eyes were being controlled on what I saw personally. That's just my thinking on it, because it went from this hand, and the fingernails were black, and they had like white streaks, like how our fingernails will get like this little white streaks in them and stuff. Mm-hmm. The fingernails had that, red hair, black skin. And so my eyes go from my hand holding this hand up its arm and up to its face, and it's standing side by side with me, looking straight down at me, whites in its eyes, brown pupils, big, huge brown pupils, but whites around the pupils. And it was looking straight down at me, kind of like shocked, like it's surprised. And so my eyes go directly from that to its arm, and it was holding Mama's hand, who was red, and she was to the side, but staring straight down at me with her eyes wide open, like, what in the world? And my eyes go from her other hand, and her other hand is holding Daddy's hand, and he's looking straight down at me with the same look on his face. I didn't see junk. I didn't see if the young one that was holding my hand was a male or female. All I went from arms to face, and then they were all three looking down straight at me with like shock look on their face. And I don't know what my face looked like, but I know personally, I didn't feel shock. I didn't feel scared. Nothing, just no emotion. It was like if you were sitting in a room with people and you were just looking around, no emotion. And then, so now my eyes go across, and when they go from Daddy Bigfoot, and I would say he was at least 10 feet tall. The one holding my hand was like the height of my dad. And then Mama was probably like 8 feet tall, if I had to guess. And Daddy was between like 10 and 12 feet tall, if I had to guess. Like huge. And then my eyes go from that. And as I'm looking more to my right, I realize I'm kind of in this room. It's all like a cream colored walls, I guess. And the ceiling was really tall. If I had to guess now, I would say like the ceiling was like 20 feet tall. I couldn't tell what kind of floor I was standing on. I never looked down like that, but I could see that I was in this room, and it was kind of dull lit. And then, so standing like 15 feet away from me with their back against the wall was this, what looked like a praying mantis alien being that was as tall as Daddy Bigfoot, like 10 foot tall, 8, 10, 12 foot tall, whatever height it was. It had charcoal burnt bone, like that charcoal bone look, jaws that wrapped around the side of its head. It didn't have what looked like skin. It looked like bone. And it had black oval shaped eyeballs that wrapped around the side of its head. They weren't like the almond shape like they say grays have and stuff. They were like oval and wrapped around the side of its head. I couldn't see arms or legs. I couldn't tell if it was wearing anything. I just saw the face. And then next to it, face up with its back against the wall, standing right beside it, was this tall blue being that had like a big, huge round head. And you could see like huge, like bulging veins all through its body. Are you okay, Cole? Are you just listening?
Yeah, we're listening.
Do you need something? Okay, my
There's
grandson's asked me something. What was that?
Okay.
Sorry.
How have you not made a movie out of this, David? You know that?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And it's so out there, and it was insane. And you know, the more you kind of tell a story, you have other people like, oh, this and that, like they relate. But this thing, the blue one, I think it's right under Tundra. The blue one, you could see like bulging veins over its whole upper body, like its chest and its shoulders and its head and stuff, like bulging veins. Right here, there you go, Coley. And so, and its eyeballs were shaped like the almond shape, almost more round, but like more almond shape, kind of like a gray. But they were silver eyeballs, kind of like the old cop sunglasses, how they had that silver sheen on them, that color. And so I'm looking at, and then my eyeballs turned to the right, and standing, if I had to guess now, like 6 or 7 feet beside me on my right was a little gray alien being. And its head, it was facing the two tall aliens. They were facing down at it. And the little gray's head was bouncing, kind of bobbing like a bobblehead, was bobbing, looking up at them like it was communicating, but not making any sound. Like its head was just bobbing. And then when I looked at it and saw that, it immediately just turned and looked right at me. And then, boom, the next thing I know is I'm coming back out coming to or kind of coming out of that like surgery state or like if you passed out state. And I'm walking, I'm not in my mom and dad's bedroom like where I'd left. I'm walking up the hallway towards where my bed was in the living room. And I just remember kind of coming to, and I'm walking up the hallway and I could hear what sounded like my own voice. Like how you hear yourself talk in your head, your own voice that you hear. I heard my own voice saying, drink pickle juice. And so I remember going to the kitchen and grabbing a jar of pickles and just chugging pickle juice. And then that was the end of that. And so my whole life,
Pickle juice.
They remember me talking about the red ball, but I didn't tell them the rest of the story that happened after I was like, no, I'm not, Mom, it's right there. And it, boom, until later in life when it was like, you know what? I don't have no reason to hide this. They know I don't lie.
No.
My whole family could look at me in the face, and if I lied, I'd get that guilty look because I'm not a liar. And so anyway.
And I've heard you tell this story a couple of different times.
Has it ever changed?
No.
Yeah. No, I believe you word for word.
Because I've heard you tell this on Sawdust and on Woodwalkers. Did you do it on anything else?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of what else you did it on.
It
was on
Woodwalkers.
Yeah. Hey, Bernie Bunyip, tell me about the pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Hey, Bernie Bunyip. Well, about the pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl.
You go first, River.
Pterodactyl. Well, and David's the only one I've spoken to about this, really. I spoke to the two people that were there with me, but yeah, that was crazy, man. I mean, I was at a soccer game, and this is out in the bush out of Western New South Wales, and I was there watching my young bloke playing soccer, and these other people that I know, Mavis and Brian, no, Muriel and Brian, and they were there with me, and we were talking and everything. And there's a riverbank that goes down a long slope around about 30, 40 yards down to the river. And the ball went down to the river, and it goes down, and there's this big gully type thing, and there's all gum trees, and it's just a lot of foliage, eh? Anyway, I've gone down to get the ball out of the river. I had to get in the river, well, up to my knees to get the ball. Anyway, when I jumped there up on the bank to come back up, I could hear this like a sound like that, you know. And he's Muriel and Brian, and they're pointing up, and I looked up to see what they were looking at, and it was this thing with it was like a big bat, but it was about 10-foot wingspan, and you could see through the wings, and it had a dome type thing on its head, what we could see, and Muriel's, well, when I got back up there with the ball, I'm still looking, and a couple other people looked too, but it was gone so quick. But they seen it, and I seen it, and I went, wow, and they said, what do you reckon that is? And I said, a flying dinosaur by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was just crazy, and the sound that it made was something like out of Jurassic Park, and like David, I've got no reason to lie, man, I've got witnesses that seen the same thing, and it was just crazy, and I'd never seen anything like that before. Yeah, it was just mental. And
sure, very large too.
Sorry,
was it pretty large?
Oh yeah. Like I said, the wingspan was about 10 foot.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was and it wasn't real wide on the body. It was kind of slenderish. I don't know, probably 2 foot wide, 2.5 foot wide, I suppose, the body was, and it had the dangly legs type thing. You know, how you get the chicken legs, just dangle type thing. Yeah, same sort of deal. And that's what Muriel. Yeah, that's what she said. What do you reckon that is, River? And I said, well, it looked like a flying dinosaur to me. But yeah. And that's when I was talking to David. I'd know about a week later, and he mentioned the same sort of thing. And yeah. it was something that we had in common, which wasn't boogers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane to see something like that. Wow.
And they are the only two people that I've ever heard talk about seeing one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're the only two people I've heard talking about it.
Yeah. I've heard something
Have you
else. I
heard
don't
from
remember
anybody
where,
else, David?
but yeah, I've heard talk of one. I won't say Midwest to the south, but somewhere in that general area, I've heard somebody say something about seeing one. I don't remember where or who it was,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I still
So
want to hear.
I've been-
I still want to hear some Thunderbird stories. That's what I'm looking for.
Jeez.
So I've been kind
Yeah.
of like almost embarrassed to talk about it because I mean, talking about, Bigfoot or
yeah.
I mean, David, you've
Dogman or
got
something, that's
aliens and
kinda- that's out
Bigfoot.
there a
How
little
much
bit,
weirder
especially
could
for
a
most
pterodactyl
people.
be?
I know, right? I mean, when
I guess exactly, and I'm glad I'm a good.
mate, it was something that you'd never forget, It's just like seeing the yowies and boogers, Because I mean, like I had to really sit back and kind of like get the head going, like computing the brain and going, did I see that? Brian, you seen that? Muriel, you seen that? And they'd going, yeah. So and I went away with the young bloke after the game. And I just went straight home, mate, and just cracked a beer and sat down and had a good think about it, Because it's not every day you see them bloody things flying around,
Yes.
So, yeah, it was scary in a way because I was thinking, now, where's it going and where's it been, It never had a sheep in its claws or nothing like that, but it was pretty big. I reckon it'd pick up a cow.
Wow, that is. And just think, it's where could it possibly be hiding? And you probably might
That's
have a
right.
shot at seeing it again.
Well,
That's right. And see,
carrying anything off over here.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me.
you need to be careful, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
we live not too far from two government installations here, so anything's possible.
Okay.
And the nuclear
Right.
power plant. Don't forget.
And a
about
nuclear
that.
power plant just to the north of us. Yeah. So a couple of them actually, Jeff.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't forget about.
You haven't got a bloke there by the name. You haven't got a bloke in the nuclear power plant by the name of Homer Simpson, have you?
Homer Simpson power plant.
Homer Simpson.
Hopefully, we don't have anybody like that working at the plant.
Yeah, hopefully not. I can say a few about Peach Bottom, but I don't want to say anything. They straightened up. They
Well,
straightened up pretty quick after 3 Mile Island had.
I've been having a bit of shadow stuff going on around here, with a few relatives and a few mates have passed away.
Yeah,
but,
sorry to hear that.
yeah,
Sorry for your loss, bro.
Thanks, brother. But yeah, I just sit here and I'll be watching the football, and next thing you know, something. Well, I had my cousin and my mate appear in front of me after passing away, and my dog Mingo, he went absolutely nuts. And my cousin, she was only 59, and I spent a lot of time with her growing up and everything. We were so close, But she materialised in front of me. She come and she showed herself to me, and my mate Tomo, who's had a lot of encounters with me with yowies. He showed himself, and I went to his place before he passed away, up in a place called Toowoomba, up in Queensland, and I flew up there and to see him, and he was on the deathbed, and he was at home, and he had family around every day and everything, and just me and him were sitting there. Well, the family were in the room too, and he asked the family to leave so him and I could speak, and he said to me, he said, brother, when I go, I'm going to come back and see you, and when I do, that means that they're real. And I said, brother, they're real anyway. And he says, I know, I just want to come back and verify that with you. And he did. He come back and he showed himself to me.
That's awesome.
And I've only
That's awesome.
I've only spoken to a couple of people about that, and this is immediate family that I spoke to. His wife, his daughter and son, I spoke to them about it, and he showed themselves to him up there. And besides that, it's only last week, again, I've been hounded by these shadow figures, and I don't know what the reason, but they come and go. They don't hang around. They show themselves to me, and then they disappear. And then half an hour later, another one had come through. I don't know what it is, for the life of me, you know. I've got an idea, don't get me wrong, but I mean, yeah, because I've lost a lot, man, in the last month, I can tell you, gee whiz. And, and I'm thinking to myself, now, who's next? Who's going to come and see me next, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it's something that you can't comprehend, you know, like, you know they're there. I can see the physical form of them, but I don't know the reason other than what Tomo and Roxy, like Roxanne was telling me, you know, because Roxanne, because she's seen them with me up in Taree, and they're called Jindaring up there, and she's seen them with me, and Tomo's seen them with me, and a couple other mates are still kicking, and I speak to them, and you know, now and again, but they don't like to talk about it a real lot, only if we're together, like sitting down together, not so much on the phone, you know, because it's something that, you know, once you, like I said, once you see one of these things, mate, you never forget it, you know. And they're still on my mind, don't you worry about that. I still have me dreams and stuff with me PTSD and waking up at 3 o'clock in the bloody morning, every morning. Yeah. And you, I even spoke to my doctor about it. And the first doctor said, I think you should use that door. I said, what? He said, no, we can't have that. And I said, what do you mean you can't have that? You're a doctor. I come here to talk to you about these sort of things, you know? And he asked me to leave, but I've since got another doctor now, and she's really good, you know. She understands that there are things like that out there, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Wow. But no threat, you know. They come back.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And like, and even the different sorts of yowies I've seen. I've seen all different sorts, different head sizes, different characteristics in face, different colours, different sizes, and then you got the Junjadis and you got the Brownjacks. You know, I mean, yeah. I've seen a bit, and the little people, which is not like your little people. Our little people are different again, you know.
I haven't seen any little people, and I don't want to see any little people. It's hard to encompass everything that we've already encompassed here so far. Little people.
River's got all sorts of.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'd love to sit around.
He's got the Australian Alma Twitch.
Yeah. I'd love to sit around the fire with you fellas, fair dinkum. I'd love to be able to have the opportunity to sit around the fire and have a chat with you, mob, fair dinkum. Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I've been ridiculed by my own people, you know, and I mean, and they've been with us now. These beings have been with us for over 60,000 years. I was told this as a young fella, you know, by my elders. And don't whistle at night. Don't go outside at night on your own. Don't go in the bush on your own at night, or all these sort of things. And it's the same deal as what you got up there with the boogers, you know.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. That's crazy. Yeah, the pterodactyl thing, that's wild.
Now what happened?
Oh, yeah. I still think about that, mate. I'm thinking, gee whiz, where was it going, you know?
Can you guys all?
Yeah, we can hear you, David. David,
Okay.
You hear us okay?
It keeps kicking me off and I keep having to refresh.
I'll be darned. Yeah, it sounds good.
I can hear you guys. Okay. So I don't know where I lost it last night, but mine happened in like 2017, 2018. I was stacking wood and I heard this I had an armload of wood. I had a green, like a reflective jacket on, like you wear for like road construction and stuff. It was the fall, and it was like in the evening. The sun wasn't shining like direct, but it was still nice and light. And I just heard this, like a squawk, like a, and I jerked my head, and so there's like this big rhododendron bush that's right in my front yard, and it was like just coming around in view from behind that bush, but it was like 100 yards away, and it was soaring right above the ridge that runs directly north and south behind my house. And this thing was, like River said, if I had to say it looked like a flying dinosaur. But mine was way bigger. This thing was like probably 30 feet long and like a 30-foot wingspan, pitch black. I couldn't tell if it had fur, feathers, or just skin.
Yeah.
But it was like a bat, and its wings were kind of shaped like a bat.
Yeah.
It had the big old knob, like a triangular knob sticking up on its tail, like a long rat tail that went to like a diamond or like a poof at the end. And I had an armload of wood in my hand, in my arms, and I just look up when I hear this roar, and I look up, and the only thing I can think of is it was soaring, and when I came into its view from behind that big old rhododendron bush is when it squawked. And I don't know if the color of my jacket had anything to do with it, or if it just did it for whatever. I don't know. It just this big old squawk. And I look up, and my mouth just freaking dropped open. Sorry, my mouth just dropped open. And I'm looking at, I know what I'm looking at. I mean, as kids, you look at dinosaur books and stuff like that all through life, stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy stuff.
I think mine might have been. I think my sighting might have been a juvenile pterodactyl.
Like that in the book.
Yeah.
And it just soaring, like it wasn't flapping. It was just soaring, heading directly south, right. Huge commuter jet size. Did I lose you guys? Okay,
I'd say you two are very fortunate to see something like that,
Yeah, and
I guess.
Well, it's not easy.
20 seconds. Yeah, it was shocking, and I just watched it, and about halfway through my sighting of it flapped its wings. But what was very interesting about it didn't do like a whole wing flap, like an eagle or a seagull, or like a whole wing. Like the whole inner half of the wing stayed still, like straight out, and the outer half of the wing went down, like in this slow
flap. Yeah.
Just like it went down and back out flat. And
like it was hinged, so
soared
to speak.
until
hinged.
Like the hinged mid wing. And I didn't see its feet, like chicken feet. I didn't see no feet or anything like that. It was almost more of a side file, the way it's flying behind my house like that. So maybe the feet were kind of hidden from me. I don't know, but I just know.
Yeah.
And I watched it, in total, it was probably like a mile that it flew past me. And I just dropped my firewood. My wife, Dee Dee, was in the living room folding clothes. She literally could see me out the window, but she couldn't see it. And I ran in the house. I'm like, babe. I just sat down. I almost had tears because I was like, babe, I just saw the craziest thing. She's like, what? Like all worried. I was like, I can't even say it. She's like, what? And I said, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm just going to tell you. And I told her. And she's like, babe, I believe you. And I was like, babe, all I can say is it was a living flying dinosaur. It was a pterodactyl. And so for months, I was looking online and stuff, like Googling it and stuff and looking it up to see if there was any sightings, just checking into it, because I had never even looked into anything like that. And it was funny because like 2 months later, there was a dad and a daughter, and I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I can't find the report now, but I've tried since. But there was a report of a dad and a daughter in Northern California, which is directly south from my house, saw what they claimed was a pterodactyl with a tail with a poof at the end, like a diamond shape at the end, in a field. It was picking up a sheep. When they drove by, it was picking up a sheep out of a field.
Wow.
So do that.
Yeah. Thing I was worried about was the kids playing soccer.
Yeah. That would not have been good.
You definitely want to think about that with your livestock.
God, no. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Taking a human would not have been good. That's, just it's hard to think about it, but how would you react, You look
well, I mean, what are their capabilities? What can they do?
Exactly. Yeah, it makes you think, how would you act? Would you run and hide? Actually, like you guys did, you just stood and stared at like, that's not supposed to be real today. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the last thing you expect to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts right there.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So now we got Yowies, we got Bigfoot, we got Dogman. Now we got flying pterodactyls, snallygasters, albatwitch. And little people? Damn it! Where does it end?
Oh, mate,
does it end there?
The list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Dog man. Let's not forget about that.
This. That's what I said. And this skinwalker stuff. I've not delved into that yet. I don't know if I will heavily, but I know. I guess there's a program. There's a Skinwalker Ranch or something I know about. I've not watched much of that, but I hear some pretty creepy stuff about that. So.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The pterodactyl thing that's wild. I'd almost like to see one, but I don't want to be in its line of sight.
I'm gonna have to look up some of the Thunderbird stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting, guys. That was something I wasn't expecting to hear here tonight. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I already knew about that part. I forgot to tell you about that.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, we lost David again. David's having a lot of trouble with StreamYard tonight. I don't know why.
Somehow,
normally it's
surviving.
I know. I'm cruising along here, guys. Hey, it's good. When David was talking about the orbs, with the experience I had with the orbs when I was struck by lightning, me and my dog, she got booted about 30 yards. I got booted about the same distance. She was in a briar bush about 30 yards away. We were down the river having a swim, and we could hear the thunder and everything. We knew it was happening. We had to walk about a mile back to the house in the mountains. And when we were going,
we lost him.
I'm dying of food.
His mic just got muted.
Why did it mute? Okay, River, I don't know what you did, but you muted yourself. I tried to unmute you and it won't let me do it if you can hear us. Isn't that weird?
This is weird.
Yeah.
That's because we started talking about pterodactyls.
Hey, somebody might be watching. You don't want watching.
Jurassic. The people from the Jurassic Park are probably.
Okay, now we got
you. Can you? Yep, all good. Yeah, I got struck by lightning, same me and the dog. Anyway, and when I come to, I just kind of come to, and I went looking for my dog, and when I found her, like she was pretty messed up, like with all the scratches and stuff from the briar bushes and that.
Yeah.
When we started the walk, I seen 3 blue orbs about the size of a softball. They were about 15, 20 feet off the ground, and they were moving around in a kind of like a rectangular type shape, just moving around. And then I heard this, like that, like the sound like something similar to that, like, like that. And I looked over, and you wouldn't want to believe it, mate. He's a yowie standing there, doolagall. We call him doolagall, see, in different areas. And he's standing there, and he'd have been, from where I seen, I was about 50 feet away. Yeah, 50 feet, yeah. And she seen it, and she just whimpered and turned around and started to run back to the river. And I'm going, oh, no, you can't, no. So it's seen us, and it was, I don't know, judging with a height, I'd say 7.5, 7 foot, I suppose. But he wasn't a big, bulky fella. He was kind of a slim sort of a yowie. Like, I don't know if he was the day watcher or not. I'm not quite sure. But he was a slim fella, and he was kind of a like dark gingery colour fella. Yeah. And I could see there was no hair on his face. He had no neck. But he was solid from the waist up, if you know what I mean. Like wide, you know, it kind of V-shaped type fella. But then it tapered down the leg. But look, don't get me wrong, he had big thighs and everything, but it's not like the other ones I've seen out of Pilliga Scrub and stuff like that. But he didn't do anything with me. He was just watching me, you know, like me and the dog, because I had to go back and get her. She was halfway back to the river. So I had to go back and grab her. And lucky I had the lead with me so I could lead her home type thing. But he kind of paralleled us for about, I don't know, 200 or 300 yards. And then he just dropped off. And I was thinking, what's his intentions? You know, like he's just letting the others know that I'm there. Because he's seen me before and I've seen him before, you know, but we've never kind of, like, it's not where he's been physical toward me or anything like that. Because a lot of them fellas up there still know me, you see. And I haven't been there for a while, and they're getting a bit anxious about wanting to know where I am. And this is what my mates in New South Wales have been telling me, see. They're saying, black ass, you got to get back up here and sort these fellas out. You know, and I'm going, wow, you want me to go up there and sort them out? But see, there's a whole new clans come through up there, you see, and they're starting to get a bit funny, them fellas, because I've got a mate up there and his son's at uni, well, at college up there in New South Wales, and he was coming home on his motorbike, and his father's got like llamas and alpacas, and he was coming home on his motorbike, and he lived about another 10, 15 kilometres up the road from me. And his son seen a beige 8-foot yowie. And I'm going, what? I've never seen a beige one.
Beige one, yeah.
I've seen the other colours, you know, but this was beige. So I don't know where he come from. What, you know, like, I mean, what are they doing? What are they breeding with to get beige? I don't know. I've no idea. I've never, like, I mean, I'm not a researcher, don't get me wrong. I don't go out there looking for them fellas. They find me. You know, I only go out to get me bush tucker and medicines for the old people. You know, that's what I was doing, getting bush jams and berries and, you know, all the medication stuff, you know. And they found me. But this big fella that I've seen, but I don't know what the connection is with the orbs and the yowies. That's what's got me kind of baffled too, you know. So
orbs is same here. What's the connection? And you know, falling back to David's story with the alien kind of thing here. I often, you know, there's so many ways to think about these things that I think, you know, at first I was like, "Our flesh and blood, nothing else." Then you hear
absolutely.
Stories, then you hear like something y'all are talking about.
Brother, I've spoken with them. I've spoken with Yowies. I was about 8 foot, probably not even that, 7 to 8 foot away. I was just sitting on the dirt on the ground digging yams.
Yeah.
Just sitting down digging yams, and I could hear this sound, but I couldn't get any smells. I didn't get any smells like I did before with other ones, you know. Then I heard the classic step on a stick where it snaps. Now I'm putting it down to, I mean, kangaroos hop, okay? They don't walk bipedally, they hop.
Right.
Pigs have got 4 legs. You know, you might have wild cattle or dogs, they got 4 legs, but this thing stepped like it was stepping. Next one, it tick, and I looked up, and I could see this thing crouching down looking at me, and I just spoke in my lingo. I just went, what? And it's just went, no. Like clicking kind of a sound, you know? Like, oh, yeah. And I'm going, right, okay, here we go. And there was 3 of them. Wasn't just that one. They were flanking me. But they knew me. They know me. This is the mob that I was telling you about that know me. And they know I come in there to get bush medicine. They know I'm there. I'm no threat. I don't carry a gun in there or a spear or anything. You know what's going on me. I'm with my old Hessian bag, you know, off I go in there. But once I heard that speaking, but the thing is, it could understand my language, but I couldn't understand him.
Yeah.
Now,
That's been
and this is what
they thinking they understand our language too, but we obviously don't understand theirs.
And this is what my old people have been telling me, you know, when you go out there, if they go to talk to you, just speak to them civilly. Don't raise your hands or do anything like that. And if you're going to go, back out. Don't turn back. Don't turn your back. Just back out, you know, which I did. And I did it slowly, but I was speaking to them at the same time as backing out. And they responded. And I went straight back and told my uncles, and, you know, and they were saying, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know what they were saying to you, but it's good to see you go, because I don't know. I might have been in their hunting area, you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were no threat to them, and they knew that, so.
Yeah. And that's what happened to me before with me and my mate Kenny when we were at the rabbit warren. And they came up on us, you know, and because we were at that rabbit warren with ferrets, putting ferrets down the hole, you know, and we were sitting on the tailgate of the ute, or the truck, you fellas call it. But, yeah, just sitting there having a beer and waiting for the ferrets to do their business. And next thing you know, this big fella decided to appear in front of us, around about 60 yards away behind this big ghost gum tree. Well, Kenny said, did you see that, brother? And I said, my bloody oath. We use chosen words, but I can't say it on here. But, yeah, and next thing you know, we heard a sound on the left, then we heard a sound on the right, and this is just on dusk, you know, and that's their feeding time, you see. They were coming down there to get rabbits, and here we are, we're there, and, you know, and they're more or less like, what the bloody hell are you fellas doing here? This is our tea time, you know. Get out of here. Yeah. I've still got the dent on it. I've still got the dent on the side of my ute, on my truck, where one of them had hit the side of it as we were driving out, because we just left the ferrets. I said to Kenny, I said, stuff the ferrets, mate. They can look after themselves. I'm out of here. Come on. We're going.
Yeah. Wow.
Because we didn't know what they were going to do. And we're there it's their meal time. And here we are there, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm sure they would physically hurt you if they had young around, like if they had young'uns, you know? And it's like any sort of thing, you know, like you always protect your young, you know.
Somebody just asked an interesting question. Elaine wants to know if you've ever seen a yowie spider crawl.
Oh, I certainly have. I got that when I was 12 years old. Me and my cousin Louie, we were going down to get water, and he looked like the Neanderthal man. He was down on all fours, and he was looking at. He would have been around about 1.5 foot off the ground. This is how low he was, and he was looking at us through the lantana bushes, you know. And Lloyd is going to do a Jillawa. Jillawa means wee in our lingo, and because we're carrying buckets of water back up, yeah. We went down the river about 200-yard walk, filled up the buckets, and he said, I've got to go and do a Jilliwa. And I said, oh, righto. So in the meantime, this thing's over here on the right-hand side, and I could hear it. I could hear it breathing. Now, there's no cows, no pigs, no nothing up there, no horses or anything, you know. And I could hear this thing breathing, and I'm looking, and I could see the lantana bushes moving. And I thought it might have been a possum, you know, or just like a rodent of some kind, you know, even the bush rats, you know. But then when I looked again, I could see this gap about the size of a basketball. And there he was. He was looking straight at me. I said, Lloydie, come on, cut it quick, cut it short, brother. We got to go. And when he come out, I said, look over there. We're only about 10, 12 feet away. And I said, look over there. And we seen it, mate. And we didn't run. We just started walking briskly, I should say. And this got up. He got up all fours. We were watching him. And he got up, and he'd have been about the same, I suppose, 7.5, 8 foot. And excuse me, he was just paralleling us again. And when we got up to my uncles and aunties, and there's little kids there, see, we were the older boys. The other little ones would have been about 5 or 6 other little kids, but they'd have been 5-year-old to about 7-year-old. And this thing was paralleling us back up to my uncles and aunties. And I said to Uncle, look over there, because there's a big clearing up in front of us. And as soon as I got to that clearing, I said to Uncle, he said, what's wrong with you fellas? And I said, look over there. And that's when this thing ran, and I was telling Kerry Arnold about this, God bless him. And when he ran, it was like cartoon fast. He was straight out, and so that was it, mate. The uncles put the kids in the bus. Yeah, that was it. We hooked it, you know, we were gone. But to answer the question, I've seen them down on all four. Oh yeah, that was first of all, I didn't know what the bloody hell it was, you know. It was, like I said, I thought it was a Neanderthal man looking at me, you know.
Yeah.
Like I say, there's all different sorts, brother. And I was 12. So if you do your mathematics, that was back in 1974. So,
telling on yourself.
Yeah, so I don't mind, mate. I often tell on myself.
74. Let's see, 1974. I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, jokes, mate. I tell you, and my cousin Lloydie, he's still alive. And I spoke to him last Christmas, and we kind of sat together under a gum tree and had a bit of a yarn about it, and he still remembers it. Kenny, me mate, he was with me. You know, with the rabbit warren situation, I've spoken to him, you know, and we just kind of remind ourselves that they are out there, and they are out there. I'm telling you, look, all these people that, you know, they you know, that's why I get a bit apprehensive about speaking to people about this, because they look at you like you're an idiot, you know. And
you know,
I say, look, if you really,
I quit caring what other people think. You know, I know what I've seen and heard.
Yeah, that's why I just said, and I said, if you really want to see one, be prepared, because your life ain't going to be the same again. I can tell you.
No.
Hearing one close range does the same thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll spook you.
But the ones I've seen, the ones I've smelt, I've had all different smells too, like plastic, you know, you get the plastic on the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've smelt that. I've smelt, wet dog, like a lot of people smell. Horse, wet dog. Even I've smelt them like, you know, like you get that rotten egg gas type rotten egg.
Yep.
I've smelt that. I've smelled them like they've just been covered in shit, you know, and like dead animal, you know, like, yeah, it's just crazy. And that time when I spoke to them, when I spoke to that one when I was yamming, I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't smell, even though I was, like, the wind was in my favour, and I still couldn't, you know, but just, yeah. And the one with the kangaroo, it was just crazy. And the one with the kangaroo, you know, like that. But the main one that really got me was when I was going to do breakfast radio, and this is about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was foggy. I'm coming down from home, snaking down around to go over a low-level bridge. The water would have been only around about 3 foot, 4 foot high. And I come around this little bend, and this is early in the morning, and I had the high beam I'd I-beam down because it's no good in the fog, you know. But when I come around the corner, I seen a father. He'd have been about, easy 9 foot. The mother would have been about a bit less, probably 8, 7.5, 8. But the two juveniles, they would have been about 4.5 to 5 foot. And when I come round the bend, I locked eyes. And my dog was in the back, me Wanji. She's going absolutely bananas. And her name's Numina. Numina means nighttime in our Gumbangi language. And I said, Numi, settle down. And when I kind of stopped, I hit the high beam, and the big fella's eyes, we locked eyes. And he had kind of reddy orange eyes, and the mother, she had mainly red eyes, but the two little ones, they had kind of greeny type, whitey green type coloured eyes, but their mother put her arm over their eyes, and the father grabbed nudged the mother, and they went up into the, out of the river, up onto the bank and up in through the mountains. And I thought, well, then I had to go and do breakfast radio. And I tell you what, it was, I'm 50 miles from town, and in that distance of getting into town, mate, I was processing a lot of stuff upstairs in my head, I can tell you, because I'm thinking, what is it, man? What is it? Why do they keep following me? Why do I keep seeing these things? Yeah. I've spoken to my people about it, and they tend to put it down to that they know who I am, they're posing no threat, but they're just letting you know. But I mean, they don't let you know all the time. They don't want you to be seen. But why are they showing themselves to me? This is the thing. And some people have said, well, because you were struck with lightning, or you're tagged, or you're marked. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Be chosen, yeah.
But,
I don't know if you can see the messages on the screen, Elaine's also. How close did it get to you? You were talking about that one incident there, and you think because you were a child that it piqued the Yowie's interest in you?
When we were 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had been about 10 foot, 12 foot away from us. It was in the lantana bushes. And that's what I was saying. There was a gap there, and that's where I seen his face. But he was down on all fours like a spider. Like right down low.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I thought, oh, yeah, you should try it from our side, mate. Like, we're only 12 years of age. I mean, you know, and not every day you go down to the bush and see, or down to the river and see one of them things laying there, or, because we didn't know what was going to do. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, as a young fella, we were told about them from a young age. But like I said, we were 12, mate. And to see that at 12 years of age, I know there's people out there that have seen it at a younger age, or, younger than 12. But to try and process that at that age was really difficult, because we were told about them, but never seen them. But now that we've seen them at that age, our process thoughts were kind of, our brain's still there, but it's not developed as well as adults, you know what I'm saying?
Right, correct.
And at the age of 12, we had to really process, that's what Lloydie and I spoke about, on numerous occasions, but it's still there. I can still remember the day like it happened yesterday, and all these things I can still remember, and this is why I'm awake at 3 a.m, because all these things are going through my head, and it's just really hard to fathom sometimes, and that's why I say, once someone sees one of these things, mate, you'll never ever forget it, This is where people say to me, that's why people have said to me, River, I'd love you to take me out there and show me a yowie. I'm going, no, mate, you won't want to see a yowie, cobber. No way. No. Yeah.
Leave Owen up alone.
I feel, yeah. Well, I mean, like, there was one time where we had a place called Warrumbungles National Park, and there's all Aboriginal land through there. And there's one area where you have to go through a big steel gate, and it's got a padlock and everything on it. Not everyone can get in there unless you jump over the fence, and but you can't take vehicles through there unless you get cut the padlock or whatever, or the chains and that. But this is out in the middle of nowhere type thing. But like, I had my nephew with me, and we were going out we were going out to get some bush turkeys and that, you know. Anyway, he said, Unc. And I said, yeah, what's that, son? He said, take the yidiki with you, eh? And I said, what? He said, take the yidiki. Now, like, yidiki means didgeridoo, all right? Sorry.
Right.
But he said, come on, we'll take the yidiki. And I said, oh, I don't know, son, I don't know. So, yeah, you know, so I ended up taking it. Anyway, and he was only 16 at the time. And he said to me, Unc, call him in so I can see him or hear him. I played a particular tune where I do the growling, and but we didn't get a visual, but we got the sounds, and like we could hear him. We could hear him, physically hear him, you know. You could hear him moving around, probably about 5 of them. And he said to me, go on, Unc, play it. And he's egging me on to play it, so I did. And that's when they come out, and they'd gone, you know, they were just making noises like, when I was doing the sound. It was crazy, Jerry. You know, and I said to the young bloke, I said, no, that's it. Come on, we'll go on, mate. I said, you never know what's going to happen here, because I don't know. I didn't know this clan, see? Right. This is a different clan again. Yeah, different mob, mate. And they come, because, see, they're nomadic. They're like us Aboriginal people, mate. They're nomadic. They travel. They move around to where the food are, you know? That's why we do our back burning and everything. Because as you know, they're omnivores, like omnivore. But
yep.
See, that's why we do back burning. So all the shit goes and the new growth comes through, you know. But and that's just what happened about 3 to 4 months prior to us going out there, and you could see all the new growth, all the new berries on the trees, and all sorts. It was just a lush area for them, you know. New life of rabbits, bush deer, all the animals come out to play when all the back burning was done. See, and when I played it, mate, that was it. They just come to life, and this was around about 5-6 p.m. in the afternoon. So, you know, once again, we're at their time for they come down to have a feed, you know. So,
like
but it was dinner, a different clan. Yeah.
That's cool. I got to back you up to I'm assuming the 12-year-old scene again. Leanne was asking what did the faces look like
when we were 12.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's like the Neanderthal man, like the caveman. That's what he looked like to me. Okay. And Lloydie, we both seen him. But like I said, he was a day watcher again. He was just down there checking on us to see what we're doing. But I reckon he was interested in the kids. That's my take on it. And that's what I said to Unc. I said to Uncle, I said, Unc, do you reckon they're coming down here to check the kids out? Because the kids are running around making a noise as kids do, you know. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden this bloke's down on like a spider looking at us, you know. But if that bush didn't move, I wouldn't have known he was there. I wouldn't have known. I just happened to look. And I seen the bush move, and I seen this gap in the bush, but like about the size of a basketball, and there was his face. And he had no hair on his face. He looked like a caveman, looked like a Neanderthal man. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yep. When I saw, just had some fringes of hair hanging up, you know, down off the high jawbone, you know, or your jawbone area, top part of your cheek.
Yeah.
That's what
but there wasn't. You could see like there was a bit of facial hair, but not long. It was kind of short. You could see some sort of facial like hair characteristics on its face, but it wasn't fully covered. Like you said, it was just below the cheekbones and just a little bit down beside along the jaw. But you could still see that Neanderthal features.
What about
the other Sorry?
What about the skin color?
Oh, now. Gun barrel grey. Can I use that? Can I say that? Yeah, it's about gun barrel greyish type colour. But I never seen, like, the only time I got to see his back and his arm motion when he was running, which was really quick, was when he was running away from us. When he was paralleling us for that bit until I got up to the clearing, and that's where we ran to our uncle and aunties and said, look, there he goes. You check him out. There he goes right there now. But you could see the muscle definition in his back and his thighs. There wasn't no one in a suit. No way. No one in a suit whatsoever could do this. And that was it. He just bundled the kids into the bus with the aunties and off we going, mate. But
what about
they're definitely out there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about the eyes? Dark? You see any whites? Whites of the eyes?
Yeah, no, I could see the whites around the outside. They were brown, dark brown, round with whites around the outside of the pupils. But then when he noticed that I seen him, he squinted. And I don't know if that would have made any difference because I could still see him, but then he was like, oh shit, I'm busted. You know, he's been caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a kind of a look I kind of interpreted, you know, because I could see his eyes squint, like close a bit, you know, as if, but you can't see me now because my eyes are closed. You know, like that type of thing, you know.
Too late now.
But too late. Oh yeah, the deal's done, mate. I seen you. You're busted. And yeah, but that scared me in a way. It really did. And I didn't know what the outcome would be after that, but I still get that feeling that it was a day watcher. It was down there and it was checking out the kids. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, we've had stories here about him hanging around. I don't know how true or where or how close, but around schools, wooded areas around schools I've heard of. Wake up, Jeff. And what about the average of the owlies you've seen, the average weight and height, would you say?
Oh, 10 foot. I've seen a 10-footer. Oh, God. Yeah, they'd be pushing up around about the 600-pound mark, I gather, 600, 700-pound. I mean, the big fella I've seen, a 10-footer, mate, he was massive. Easy 4 foot across the shoulders. Just a massive build, just a big, bulky thing, you know. But he was different again. He was different again. He had his head was more or less jutted down into his shoulders type thing, more than the Neanderthal man. He was different again, you know. The Neanderthal man, you could identify he had a bit of a neck, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Whereas this other fellow, the big 10-foot fellow that was dragging the kangaroo off our rope, mate, yep, and I have 3 other witnesses of that, and they're still kicking, and they're still having nightmares. But the thing was that got us was, see, we had this kangaroo loaded with cyanide tablets. See? Excuse me. So, see, we were out foxing. We had an old Land Rover ute, and we got the rope around about 150-foot long rope, and we're dragging this kangaroo down the road, down this dirt road. But prior to that, we made up all these cyanide capsules, and we got a can of Pal, which is dog food, and we gutted the roo, put all the capsules inside the Pal, like the meat, and stuffed it inside the kangaroo. The kangaroo stood around about 6.5 foot, so he wasn't a little roo either. But see, we just sit there at night with the big light on top of the ute, and we would just kind of go, like that, calling in the foxes, see?
Yeah. And
next thing out from nowhere come this big fella, mate. He was huge, and we seen him coming out. He only come out about 15 foot off the road. He was amongst all these bushes. He come out and he just grabbed that roo straight off the rope. He just snapped the rope. Everything, just grabbed the roo, put it under his arm, and ran up in the bushes. So anyway, we thought, nah, that's it. I just banged on the roof of the car like, go, Kevin, go, just go, bro. Yeah. And he's my mate Peter, he's there with a 22. That ain't gonna do nothing, you know. And so we'd gone and we seen it. We seen what we seen, Jeff and Jerry. I'm not bullshitting there, man. We seen what we seen. We come back the next day hoping to find that Yowie who had eaten the cyanide tablets. Because you think cyanide tablets would kill a yowie, wouldn't you? Well, I don't know, but we never found any sort of evidence of a dead yowie or anything like that. Nothing like that. But we could see where it went and where, but we never come across it. We went into the bush looking for it the next morning, but couldn't see. We could see where it went through, but that was it. And I'm thinking, I wonder if that yowie is still alive. Because cyanide tablets, they drop you. So, but see, we got other fellas too. We got ones up here called Quinkins. Now, they're called Quinkins. They're up in Queensland, and they get up around about 14 foot, brother.
Oh wow!
There's been
Hey, Jeff.
There's been records. Hey, you doze them off there, mate.
Yeah, Jeff wants to have a show and he falls asleep.
Sorry, I was looking at something and then my kid's over here. It's been a interesting evening.
Talking pterodactyls and then damn it.
But the one that got me, brothers, the one that got me and my three cousins were coming home from the movies when we seen the bunyip, mate. That was the one. I thought, well, yep. He was about 20 foot long, about the width of a car. He had a long tail that tapered down to a point. He had flippers, and had a head like a cow. And the body was kind of like leather, like a cow. Okay. But it had flippers. And we seen that slide into the river, Macquarie River in New South Wales.
Wow.
We seen that. We seen it. Bunyip.
Bunyip.
Yeah.
Wow. You can keep them.
Oh yeah, mate. And a lot of the farmers were missing sheep and cattle. And they didn't know what it was. Like big cows. I mean, not little cows. I mean, they're talking growing cows, big cows, bulls and all this sort of thing. They go missing, and the farmers were wondering what it was. They thought there was just people coming out and shooting them. But then when they started noticing slide marks going into the river and up onto the property, that was a different story again,
Yeah.
There's the place called Wolloomaringal, and there's a thing in the local newspaper about the beast of Wolloomaringal, and there was a 18 stand shearing shed out there, and this old fellow by the name of Tommy Clark, he was the cook, he was the shearer's cook, and we had to go out there and open up the shearer's quarters for him in the kitchen so he can all prep and ready for the shearers to come in a couple of days,
Yeah.
Anyway, Tommy turned up. We helped him clean up the kitchen and everything. We said, righto, Tommy, catch you later, mate. We'll see you in a couple of days. Mate. And he said, righto. 2 days later, the lads a couple of the shearers went out there to set up their stuff and everything, and they found him dead. Well, not only dead, but he was ripped to pieces, mate. Ripped to pieces in the kitchen. Wow. Oh, yeah. And they put it down to the beast of Wolloomaringal. Now, when they spoke to the government about it, they just said, it was a wild kangaroos and wild emus. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, right. Like an emu can cut you up pretty bad, and a kangaroo can cut you up bad, but they're not going to dismember you.
Yeah.
They're not going to take your arms off and legs off and, take your, disembowel you, So.
Well, I know we'll do that here in the States, so.
Well, see, if you ever get down here, brothers, I'll show you around.
Yeah, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump across the water. I actually have a friend that I don't know where in Australia he lives. He was born and raised here in the States, and met an Australian gal here, and got married, and ended up packing up and moving to Australia with her. So,
yeah,
he's been over there for quite a while now. Loves it.
Yep. Yeah. I wonder if he's got our accent.
No, he still talks. He still talks regular English American. Yeah, I haven't noticed the slang yet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jeff, will you get that portal? Jeff, we're done. You get that portal going.
Hey, just hitchhike a ride with a pterodactyl and fly over. It'd be cheap.
Oh God, imagine that.
I'm convinced my grandfather probably could have helped me build one if he was still with us.
Jerry, have you laid eyes on any?
On what? A pterodactyl?
No boogers.
One time as a kid, yes. One time.
Yeah.
One time.
That's good.
I have a recent trail camera photo. I'll have to send it over to you. Let you have a look at it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had eye shine right down the road here. I've had eye shine. I've had vocalizations, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Would you guys be interested in having Yowie Dan on your show?
Sure. We're always open.
Yeah.
We're always open.
River's got a friend named Yowie Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff's met him. Jeff and David's met him.
Yeah, I think Jeff's actually mentioned that about having him on.
I think Greg's met him too. I'm not sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he has too. Yeah.
Mary might have. I'm not sure.
So, what time of the day is it over there, River?
It is 11:40 a.m.
11:40. So that's wow.
So when you guys come on, it's 9:30 in the morning here for me.
Wow. Okay.
How about that? Which is good. Works in favour for me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's getting late here.
Yeah. Yeah, I could just imagine. It's all right for you fellas. You can go to sleep. I've got to go and brush cut and mow the lawns.
I'll sleep and think about you doing it. How's that?
Good on you, mate. You make me feel so much better now. I'm not alone.
It's screaming hot here, so outside activities are minimal right now, unless you're a farmer.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Jeff. I talk to him just about every day in the middle of the day or something. He calls, I'll just get my shirt stuck to me, or he won't tell you the tractors are air conditioned.
It's terrible this week.
It is. It's really bad. 108 today, I think it was supposed to have been.
So what sort of weather you getting?
Any rain.
Damn.
Getting dry.
Okay, well I'll have to get back to a drawing board and do a dance for you.
Yeah, we need it. We need it bad. Yep.
Rightio. Okay.
River,
you don't want floods?
You started doing your cryptid podcast over there again. Stop it.
No, I'm waiting for your mate to come on board. He's not well at the moment. He's on new medication, so it's going to wait for him to come. Well, get better health, and then we're going to attack. So,
Elaine says she has a cousin in Adelaide there.
Yeah.
Yep. She's the one that's I've been asking questions for her. Sometimes I don't know if you can see them up on the screen or not.
No, I can't see them up. Well, they are, but they're too small. I can't see them. But ask her whereabouts in Adelaide, because I'm in O'Sullivan Beach.
She'll answer here in a minute. She's listening. So, Dogman in Maryland. Yeah, one mention, but we haven't found anybody that will solidify information to come on, and
we're working on that.
Yeah, we are working on that for sure. I'm interested in. We did a little trek over to Hidden Valley over the weekend, the wife and I, and
that's
years since I've been over there, but there is a report out of that area of a dog man. So.
Yeah, Kenny and I, we didn't know whether we seen a dog man or not, but I tell you what, we didn't stick around. Now, I mean, like when you see a kangaroo, right, and the kangaroo's got ears similar to a dog.
Yeah.
Right? And from the angle that we were on, I mean, I've seen kangaroos, the big reds down here, and they get up to around about 7 foot, 6.5, 7 foot, right? Wow. There's some big buggers over here, mate. And we seen this big red, but he was kind of grayish red. but he didn't hop. Like, it didn't, like, you know how kangaroos stand up and then they bend down and then they'll stand up, you know, like, but this thing didn't hop. It stepped.
Huh.
And I'm thinking, hang on, Kenny, do you see that? Because we're just driving past slow to go into a mate's property. And it's all bushland and everything. It's only got a little kind of a 8-foot track, like just a dual dirt track, you know, going into the scrubbies about 5 mile in. And when we were closing the gate, like, we heard this rustling. But the thing was, we heard a hissing sound, like a hiss, like a sound like that. And we didn't know what that was. It's 7 o'clock at night, you know. And when we come around this dirt track, like around the bend, this thing was walking, but it wasn't hopping like a roo. It was walking, but like, I don't know. And Kenny said, looks like a big dog, bro. And I said, don't say that, brother. Yeah. I said, don't say that, for God's sake, you know. But it looked like a dog, but it looked like a kangaroo, but it looked like a dog. I don't know. We didn't want to go there and check it out. No way, man. Was I getting out of that car? I said, no, because he said, come, we go and check it out. I said, you're on your own, son. Yeah. So no, but we didn't know. But you know, I don't know. And there's been reports of dog man just out of Sydney. I mean, like, Sydney's a really big city, man. And I mean, you know, for something like the dog man to be so close to civilization, you know, it kind of makes you wonder, you know. And this bloke, I can't remember his name, but he was on Vic's show. Vic Grundon, is it? Vic
Cundiff.
Yeah. He was on his show, and he was in a canoe when he was canoeing along this river just out of the outskirts of Sydney, and he claims to have seen one up, and it's on Vic's show anyway, and it's he's got pics of it and everything. But
oh wow, okay.
But I mean, for something like that to be in existence around civilization like Sydney, I mean, that's really scary, man.
Yes,
that's really scary. I mean, like, these dogs are these dog men. It's nothing to be you know. You just got to be wary of what's out there. And my old mate Bernie Parkins claims to have seen a reptile man.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And this is at a place called Molong, and it's up in the mountains. And he claims to have seen a reptilian man. And he said it had the skin like a reptile, and it was green.
Who knows what's out there? You know,
we don't. But we don't.
Every year seems like something new is discovered. Mark Plowboy Green, how are you? He stopped in to say hi.
Hey, g'day, Mark.
Lean back.
Yes. So you just don't know what's out there, mate. The things I've seen, you know, it's just but with those little people, mate, that done me too. I mean, even with the brown jacks and the Junjadis, you know, like, I've seen them, you know, and oh, mate, there's just so much I could tell you. Just haven't got enough time, you know.
Well, there's plenty of shows in the future. We'll definitely have you come back. But it seems like, I tell you what, it seems like your internet works really good with no camera.
Yes, and I'm using the phone instead of the laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll be using that for future reference, I think.
Yeah, works very well.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll be talking about Frog Man and everything else. So who knows what?
Oh, well.
Who knows?
Well, there's Mothman, Goat Man. There's all these different, you know.
Yeah, Jeff and I have discussed Goat Man here in Maryland. So
yeah, there's Goat Man history here. We just gotta look more into it.
Yeah,
just a little south of us. Yeah, a couple counties.
Okay.
Over. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff. Maryland is not.
Keep going.
It will surprise you.
Yes.
Maryland's got a lot of history. A lot of history and a lot of country and a lot of things. Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen a lot of paranormal?
Oh yeah. There's plenty of that around here.
Because you're not far from the cemetery, eh, Jeff?
No, I'm not.
Because there was one instance up here or down here where me and my mate were on our motorbikes riding along the fire breaks along the railway tracks. And we were going up and there's this old cemetery up there. And it's about 2 miles from the railway tracks, and we went up there for a ride, and it's an old historical cemetery. When we gets up there, mate, we hear the sound of rocks clacking, all sorts of things, you know. We looks over, mate, and we seen 2 yowies, 150 yards away. And that's, I'm thinking to myself now, like other people down here have told me also that they see them around cemeteries. And I'm going, why? Why is that?
Wow.
I don't know, but we seen 2 near a cemetery, and I don't know what they were doing at the cemetery. I wouldn't have a clue. But we didn't stick around to find out. Because I think they were pissed off with us because of the noise of the motorbikes.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple cemeteries
That's the one.
around me. They're smaller ones, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't go out of my way to
I've seen plenty of ghosts. I've seen a lot of ghosts. We call them gunges.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got one that's been. He's like my spiritual leader. Well, not leader, but advisor. You know.
No, piggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen a ghost. My wife has.
Yeah.
Of her grandfather, but I have.
Yeah.
That I can recollect, or if it happened, I didn't realize it. But I'm sure I would have known if I did.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't.
A friend of mine, her and her husband moved down to Tasmania, and she's an artist. Like, she does all arty-farty stuff with paintings and all that sort of thing, you know, and does all like dream catchers and all this sort of thing. And she's into the paranormal, and her and her friends went to a cemetery and took the Ouija board, you know, the Ouija boards, and they did a seance at the cemetery. And when she got back to her place, all her paintings were off the wall, her furniture was all turned around, everything was moved around. And I said to her, see, don't go mucking around with that sort of thing, because they'll follow you home.
One time with a Ouija board, I got the hell out of that room, and that thing took off across the board. I said that was enough for me, and I got out. So,
yeah. That's the same with my old uncle. My old uncle, he was a gubbu, what we call gubbu. And Gubbu Ted Thomas is my uncle. He's a well-known Aboriginal man. He's passed away now. Anyway, I went over to see him one day, and it's about 8-hour drive from where I used to live to where he lived down the south coast. Anyway, I went down to visit him. Anyway, and my auntie said, look, you know the old china cabinets with the glass door, like glass windows in them, and that one, like you can slide them? Anyway, Auntie Ann said to me, she said, son, come and have a look what this silly old fella brought home from down the river. And I said, what? She showed me all these bones in the china cabinet, see? What he'd done, he dug up an Aboriginal man from over 80 years ago. Anyway, and he brought the bones home and put them in his china cabinet. Anyway, so we've gone down to where like me and Uncle went. I said, go and show me, man. I said, Uncle, show me where you got these bones from. So off we went. We walked down to the river, you know, and anyway, and he said, I got them from here. And he's got a yellow ribbon that he puts there so he can remember where to go. Anyway, the next morning, when I got up, like once again, all the lounge room had changed around. The lounges were all moved into a different area. The kitchen table and everything were moved outside. It was crazy, man. So Auntie Ern said, that's it, Ted. Take them bloody bones back down there. So I ended up doing a big ceremony to put this Aboriginal man like to rest in peace again, you know. But yeah, that was crazy. That was really crazy, eh? Yeah, everything just moved around. But then once he took those bones back and done the proper burial ceremony, nothing else happened.
Okay.
That was weird. That was really weird. It's a lot of stuff happens with our culture, our tribal culture down here, brother. It's probably the same as the American Indians, same sort of deal. Yeah.
Sure.
That uncle I was telling you about, he went and sat with the Crow. He sat with the elders of the Crow people and sat down and had a good chat, and talked about our culture and how close it is to our culture than the American Indian cultures. It's pretty close,
Yeah. Mark Green, don't worry. I tore that contract up real quick. I got out of the room. It didn't last long. It didn't last long for me.
Yeah.
And I was much younger. Gosh, I probably wouldn't. I don't even think I might have been 20. I don't remember. It's been quite a while back.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. But I'm still waiting now for these other shadow figures to turn up. It's like I'm sitting here waiting for them. Expecting them to turn up. Which was unexpected. But just weird stuff's happening. And my dog's going mad, and it's just crazy. Even Sue, I said, Sue, she said, I seen something in the kitchen, going through the kitchen. I went, oh no, they're even going inside now. Yeah.
I've actually seen River's curtain move while I'm talking to him. It's
Oh yeah. That was crazy. And Greg and Misty seen the same thing. Yeah.
Well,
and Billy
Schilling, brother, one of his relatives. Relative.
He's seen Billy Schilling seen her face, whereas I'm sitting here where I am now, and I had to turn around. I couldn't see anything, but Billy, sitting in America, talking to me, can see her plain as day, and she had a yellow scarf on or something, looked like that one from Scooby-Doo. What's that? What was her name? One of the actors, one of the cartoon characters? Thelma or someone had the scarf on her.
Thelma and Veronica. There was only two of them, so yeah.
Yeah, well, Billy Schilling seen this a face, and it had the scarf around her neck. Huh. And he described it to me, and I'm going, "Wow!" But I couldn't see her. But he could. Wow. That was weird.
And Mark Green saw a apparition recently.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was wearing one of those reflective vests.
Yeah. That's an interesting story there. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if he found out any more information about that area, or if he has if he had time to dig up any more information about it.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Very.
And I've heard plenty of stories about the battlefields up at Gettysburg. We could go into a whole. We could spend a whole night on Gettysburg.
I've seen
my wife and her niece did a weekend up there. Did some ghost tours in town, and of course they went out in the battlefield after dark.
Yeah.
And they had some experiences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of the guys that work the hayfields up there that actually bail the battlefield. Ooh.
Yeah. Sure. I asked her, I said, well, why would you go do that stuff? I mean, it just don't make sense, but why would we go walk around the woods looking for it?
The one guy up there, the truck driver, not the normal guy comes in, but he bails for him, and he's been around the block, and he's been working that area for a long time, and he went to get in his truck one night, and there was he was driving an old Ford Excursion, and he got into the truck and went to drive off one of these back roads where they were bailing. And he said he got in the front seat, looked over, and there was a Confederate cavalry officer in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, what'd you do? He's like, I gave him a ride back to the farm.
What else you gonna do? Maybe he told him a good story or something.
Did you try talking to him? He's like, yeah, he didn't say anything. He's like, I just kept driving. And
I'll be back in a tick, gents. Just got to do God's work.
Yeah, he said when he got home, he called one of the, or after he got back there, and he said it kind of dissipated as he drove, but he called that day, might have been that morning, because I think they were working late. It was early in the morning, and he calls one of his friends that was a Civil War reenactor, and he goes, "Hey, were there any Confederate encampments on this road over here we've been bailing?" And he's like, "Hold on, let me check. I can't quite remember." It comes back like a half hour later and goes, "Yeah, why?" And he described it to him. He's like, "Yeah, that was a Confederate cavalry officer."
Huh.
Yeah, that talk about nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know a lot of those guys that work the battlefields. They'll hear all sorts of weird noises.
Yeah,
while they'll be there, you know, throwing the straps over the bales to strap them down, and they'll think someone's behind them or something, or they'll hear somebody walking, or you know, something's like somebody's looking at you, but then you turn around, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Well, they say you can still hear the gunfire stuff sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, there's all kinds of stories from out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's not far from us, River. It's Gettysburg's one of the biggest battlefields in the country. And it's
I've seen a documentary on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like less than 2 hours from there, Jerry.
So
we're not that far.
We're just a hair under 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's close to 2 hours, but not quite.
Okay.
We're not far from it at all. And it is the biggest battlefield.
Yep.
As far as the Civil War goes.
I was working with the education department. Anyway, I had to travel 2 hours out from Wagga Wagga. That's where Greg got his hat from. And there's a mountain range that goes through Aboriginal land, and it's called Kilmicat. That's the name of the mountain. And years ago, there was this bloke, and he was going to be a state runner, like a cross-country runner. And he used to run along the side, like jog along the side of the road to keep fit and everything. And he got hit by a car and got killed. Anyway, and it's still today, and I've seen it. When you go up that mountain, you look in the back seat, and the lad's sitting there in the back seat while you're driving. And I've seen him. Mate, I shit myself. I had to pull over on the side of the road, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was in the rearview mirror looking at me. Oh, yeah. You ever seen a black fella turn white? Mate, I'll tell you what. Oh, yeah. I've seen him a couple of times. That bloke. Yeah.
That's a good description.
He doesn't say anything. But the third time, I'm talking to him, and he just doesn't say anything. Just sits there like a mute, And then after a period of time, he just goes, just phases out, goes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people have seen him. Oh yeah. Yeah, crazy.
I was trying to get the name of the hotel that they stayed at when they were out there, but she's asleep. She didn't answer.
So what time is it there, chaps?
It's
10:30 at night. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey will be nodding off soon.
He's been nodding off.
Everybody in the group chat has got to listen to me snoring, including Greg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you left me high and dry there last week. I'm sitting there going, Jeffrey, Jeffrey. All you can hear is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting late. 5 o'clock comes early.
Poor Blaylock.
Yeah.
His internet. He's having worse problems than River is today.
Yeah, he's.
I'm starting to think it might be your computer because.
Yeah, the phone's working good.
What's wrong,
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah.
So you're looking at the windows.
I don't know, my dog was doing something.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I was going to have to saddle up and come over there and see what's going on.
Well, if it was a dog scratching on the
not
floor,
that far
and not
away.
a dog man at the door, we're fine.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no. Hmm.
Now, trust me, you hear that, you're gonna hear things are gonna get loud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
We're not regulated like River is down there.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
We're gonna start
Righto,
learning to use
chaps.
boomerangs if some of the idiots around here get back into.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if they don't, we'll make sure they come back, because if they don't come back, they're called a stick.
I'm gonna have to take boomerang lessons.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not hard, bro. Not hard.
Will
It's
it
not
take
hard.
down a deer? That's the important question.
Yeah, you need the, yeah. Yeah,
More like a
I've,
bird or something.
I've got one here that'll take down a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you go for the legs, take the legs out.
If you ever get here, we'll go out and we'll go out and practice with one and see what we can do with it.
Rightio. I'll hold you to that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I think
Yeah.
we made out pretty good for tonight, being that we had all
Yeah.
these technical issues.
Well, I wouldn't call it technical. Well, internet-wise, yeah, but
Internet and unforeseen circumstances.
yeah, I wish our guests could have. And I appreciate David and River coming on and bailing us out of a situation where our guest didn't come on. I was really looking forward
We'll get
to the
there.
Edgewood, Maryland thing.
I'll see
yeah,
what happened. I'm
Let's
sure
get him
he
rescheduled. Get him rescheduled. Something happened,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So.
And do you want me to have a yarn to Yowie Dave? I mean, Yowie Dan?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Reach out to
Okay.
him for us.
Okay. No worries.
Things are kind of slow summertime right now because everybody's doing stuff. So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little free time here in the next few weeks. I'm gonna be checking out Elk Neck. So
Yeah.
we'll
Rightio.
Yeah, Mr. Blaylock, we're going to get
Mhm.
you back on too. That you
Yeah.
finish up when you're back home on the mountain.
that's a very interesting area, River. It's on a peninsula, and
Yeah.
the town's right there. There's the state park's right there. Between the state park and the state forest, it's over 5,000 acres.
Wow. Okay.
It's almost
Yeah, I
close,
think-
it's close to 6, isn't it? Between the two properties, I think.
Probably.
It's
I know an
let's
RV is
see.
going to be going in over there sometime.
There's a what?
I said, I know an RV that's going to be going in over there for a weekend sometime. That would be me.
There's going to be a hammock in there too somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you get a chance, guys, check out Pilliga Scrub.
Is that one of the
Okay.
active areas around you?
Yeah, it's in New South Wales, but yeah, that's a big lot of land, man.
It's
bit
probably
like-
10,000 acres.
Bit like LBL type thing, you know.
Okay.
But, yeah, there's been a lot of sides, seen a lot of stuff in there too. I've seen the Pilliga Princess. She presents herself all the time. She was hit by a truck years ago. She's an Aboriginal lady, and she's I've seen her a few times pushing the shopping trolley down the side of the road, the highway. But she's a ghost, a grunge we call them gunjas down here. But yeah, she's all right. I've seen her a few times. She's in a white dress, pushing a shopping trolley down the side of the road. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and I've had a lot of sightings, a lot of yowies in Peligasquat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But some people are really hesitant about hanging with me because they don't want to see them, you know.
I got one more question for you, River.
Yep.
It says, and you kind of elaborated on it. I guess Leanne might have missed it, but if you said if you see a yowie, you will never be the same. How has it affected you and your friends?
Well, it's just that I keep getting visions. I still see them. I still feel them. Especially with the one that I spoke to in my language, and he spoke back where he understood. That really got me. And it's just that you get that feeling, you know yourself, when you go into the bush or into the woods, what you fellas call it, and you know, and you get that sense of something's watching you. Yeah, you get that feeling. Well, that's been with me since the age of 12, since I seen that fella down on all fours like the spider crawl, you know. Since then, I mean, like there has been 3 years after that is when I had the next one, but then I kept getting visuals all the time, you know. Yeah. But I get this sense of, but it's not a sense of grief. It's just a sense of like the actual feeling that you're being watched and there's a presence there. And I don't know what it's going to do, whether it's going to be good or whether it's going to be bad. I just don't know. But the overall feeling is of dread. Yeah. So to answer the question, it's just that I've just got a lot of PTSD going on in regards to all this, you know, and I really can't talk to anyone that's kind of in that medical profession that can help me with this, you know.
Right.
And it's the same with my mates, my friends that have seen them too, you know. But they don't go out looking for them. Like I said, they just found us, you know. But yeah. But I'm just lucky I found you fellas. I'm so lucky that I got hold of Kerry Arnold. Kerry Arnold was the man who brought me out of it took me something like 30 years, 24 to 30 years to talk about this.
Yeah.
Took me a long time to come out, you know.
Kerry gave a lot of people a great opportunity.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, really got, aside from Wes Germer and a couple others, you know, Kerry was the first guy that I started watching. Just by a simple search. I just typed in Bigfoot Odyssey popped up. It was right after his very first documentary he did. And of course he started his talk shows and stuff. And I talked to him off and on through Messenger a lot. And was supposed to go on a show, never did, because it just never panned out. Unfortunately, we lost Gary. And I'll tell you what, I still go back and I watch some of his shows. In fact, last night we went back and watched the Mark Barton episode when he brought. And, what a crazy deal that was. And I really wish Kerry was still here. Really do, because he was doing leaps and strides for this subject. And
absolutely.
But hey, you know what? He brought us all together in one way or another. We're all
that's right. Here, so. That's the one. But it's scary. It's scary sitting around and getting rocks thrown at you. Yeah, the size of footballs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary, man. That's scary because you don't know where they're coming from. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They are the scary guys, man.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah. All right, righto, chaps. I'm going to let you fellas go. Yes. Thank you very much for having me on.
I loved having you, River. Finally got it to work.
We
actually had service. Now we know. We just got to get River to use his phone.
That's the one.
Clear and turn the camera off, and you're good to go. Worked great, man. Worked really good.
And sending big love to our Bigfoot family up there, and God bless you, eh?
Yep, right back at you, brother. Right back at you. We appreciate you coming on, River.
Even though we're still dragging on, it's almost 11 o'clock.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all good. Hey, the first 20 minutes, I was getting worried we were going to have anything.
Now it's like it's 11:15.
That's okay. I'll call you.
I've got a kid over here that's like bouncing off my head. This has been an interesting.
You got to stop giving him caffeinated drinks. You got to stop stuff about 5 or 6 o'clock.
It's not the caffeine. It's just him being a 6-year-old. I think is the problem.
Yeah.
And it's summertime.
Oh, well, you were like that once, Jeffrey.
Well, my parents, I'm sure, shoved him full of junk food before they turned him over to me.
River, trust me, you say like that once. He hasn't changed, so. He's still on.
Good on you, brothers. You take care, eh?
All right. Thank you, River. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. See you.
See ya.
Good night, River.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, we got an outro, man. Don't take away my outro.
Yeah.
Hang tight, Jeff. I'll be right back with you. Hey, over 130. So I don't pay attention to the number that's on the screen up there, but
yeah,
I got a collaborative number over here from all facets that come in here. So that's pretty good, considering we were guestless for a little while there. But that's okay. It turned out good, and of course, I'm sure Mark and the crew will have their show Friday. And Spencer, I'm sure, will have something on Saturday, and I'm sure there's others. I try to watch all of them that I can. So
I'm supposed to be coming on with Mark here in the next couple of weeks. So
good luck, Mark.
and I'm sure someone else will want to schedule me for some unknown reason. I don't know.
You just have your butt back here next Tuesday. That's all.
I'm to do it when I'm kidless.
It's all good. Okay. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Now he looks like he's going to pass out.
There you go. That's about what I'm fixing to do here shortly. So we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Hopefully, maybe we can get our guest that was supposed to be here back. So see what happened.
Well, after I get done with the fair on Saturday, I'll have some time to work on.
Yeah, I got to work the fair Saturday here. So it's that time of year.
Yeah.
You bet, David Black. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, David.
I'll probably be in touch with him maybe towards the end of the weekend. If something doesn't work out with this other guy, we'll get I'd like to hear the rest of David's story. So anyway, I'm done babbling. It's getting late. We'll see everybody. Hopefully, why won't that scroll over there? Hold on, we're still having technical difficulties, Jeff. We're not done yet. Okay, here we go. Hey, hopefully next Tuesday we'll see you 8 o'clock.
Then